Welcome to this video introduction presenting the new features in Trimble Tilos version 9. Besides many small but useful features, we focused on completely new Gantt grouping views, including possibilities to insert location maps to the Gantt chart, and we have overworked the data exchange to Primavera P6. Let me start with the new Primavera data exchange. It is very common to transfer an existing schedule from Primavera to Tilos. This will be the first attempt in this introduction. Here you see a typical construction schedule in Primavera. A work breakdown structure was created, and the activities are grouped by WBS in this view. For displaying the activities in Tilos time location diagram, the schedule is already prepared as follows. The user-defined field distance start text and distance end text containing for each activity the coordinate on the distance axis. A user-defined field Tilos template is containing the names of the Tilos template for each activity. By this, the presentation of the task in Tilos is controlled. There are some activity codes assigned to. Company defines the responsible company. Location describes, in form of a location breakdown structure, where the activity is located. Phase is defining whether the activity is in design, tender or construction phase. And structure is defining the type of structure for the activity, for example, roofing, building or track. Sectors is very interesting. This code is assigning the locations to activities additionally. During import, this code will be connected to a Tilos sector profile. Thus we can connect the task to location coordinates defined in this Tilos sector profile. The main difference between Tilos 9 Primavera Exchange regarding previous versions is there is no longer the need to access the Primavera data by a macro via the Primavera API. With Tilos 9, we directly use the native Primavera XML files. They are created with menu File Export and imported with menu File Import. I'm exporting now from Primavera. I select XML file, then I select the project, and then I select the target file, what is in this case an XML file named Export from Primavera to Tilos. And after a while, Primavera has written the project data to the XML file. We can use this file now to import the data to Tilos. On Tilos side, I have already prepared a time location view showing a simple map with the defined area. Additionally, there is prepared task templates with the names according to the Primavera activity code and a sector profile with the according distance coordinates. With menu File Import, I can read the Primavera file. I select Import Primavera P6. I select the data file, the source, and then I have to set the import options. All Gantt common information like task name, start date and the constraints are imported with default rules. But rules for importing distance information or activity codes I have to define. The option Import WBS data. This option is importing both the WBS structure itself and the activity assignments. Same with import categories. The activity code structures in Primavera will be imported to the category structure in Tilos. Option Import links The links and all Gantt common length attributes like link type and lag will be imported. Import task templates. To reduce the work in Tilos, we import the task template name information in our sample from a user-defined field named Tilos template. This is the way we have prepared the Primavera project. Optionally, the template can be taken from project, EPS or global activity codes. Then set the name of the activity code library in the field name activity code. Import sector profile. If no location coordinates are set up in Primavera, there is a possibility to match coordinates by reading from a sector-based activity code. Just by naming the sector, later in Tilos the coordinates are set up. This is the way we do it in this little sample. Another way to pass the coordinates from Primavera is via a UDF field in additional field mapping. If layers are assigned, then layers can be imported in the same way. We do not have layers in this sample. Filter data on import. By default, Primavera is exporting all activities in the project. If you do not want to bring all activities to Tilos, you can prepare a filter user-defined field in Primavera. For example, Tilos filter equals yes. Tilos will only import those activities that match to the filter. There is no filter in this sample, so I can switch off. Now clicking on Finish starts the import process. Let us discuss the result. On library level, the WBS has been created. The calendars have been transported. On task level, the tasks and the links have been transported. Additionally, all tasks got assigned to the corresponding task template. Thus, the task style and color is set. Each task is connected to the corresponding WBS and has assigned the right categories coming from the activity codes in Primavera. And looking at coordinates, each task is assigned to the correct sector of the sector profile, and with this each task is on the correct location coordinate. Just to be complete, I slide in a transfer from Tilos information to Primavera. It is done in the same way. Select File Export. Select Primavera native XML file. Select the file name, now export from Tilos to P6. And edit the export settings. The settings have been saved from last time opening that dialog and just can be reused. I finish, the data file is created. In Primavera I select File Import. I use Primavera P6 XML and I open the file, export from Tilos to P6. Go to Next. I would like to create a new project and I use the default template for importing and click on Finish. After a while, Primavera has imported the data. Let's check the imported project. Now it is copied to here. This is the new project, and I open the project and you see there are the tasks already imported, and for sure there is also the WBS imported correctly. In each activity have again the activity code assigned. The new Tilos Primavera Exchange uses the Primavera native XML format, and with that exchanging data got much easier. I go back to Tilos 9 to have a look at the new Gantt chart grouping features. First, I open an ungrouped Gantt. The tasks are in a flat list, just ordered by start date. Then I create a new Gantt chart view. From type Gantt chart. I select the correct project and click OK. Now a new Gantt chart is created. With right-clicking on the Gantt chart, I open the context menu. The new Group Settings function leads to the new task grouping dialog. The Display Groups as Headlines mode is very similar to the grouping in Tilos 8. The picture on the right is showing a sample grouping. For each group, a headline grouping summary is created above the detailed tasks. While Tilos 8 was able to build a grouping for one level only, now Tilos 9 can have hierarchical groupings too, if the grouping criteria is supporting hierarchy, like WBS structure or category structure. What I do first is creating a WBS grouping similar to the grouping we have seen in Primavera. I have to add a grouping criteria. I open the Group By selection box. You see all the fields available to do a grouping. I select WBS. If I set no further levels, level 0 does the same grouping that you are used to have in Tilos 8. But now I want to have a hierarchical grouping and select 4 levels down. The dialog now displays 4 lines, one for each level, as each level can be controlled different, for example can have different presentation settings. For now I just close the dialog to see what is happening. The headline group Gantt displays the structure of the WBS visualized by the grouping summary tasks. This is done down to 4 levels. In this sample down to the phase level. All tasks are collected and displayed in the related superior hierarchy group element. To open all branches of a hierarchy element, there is a new feature in Tilos 9. I right-click on the hierarchy, select Expand Collapse. There I have some options to control how the branches are to be opened or closed. I select Expand All to see all branches opened. This is the same structure and display as we had before in Primavera. The last level collects all elements on this level and below. See what happens if I change to display only 3 levels, what does mean the station level at the WBS. All tasks on station level and below are now grouped on that level 3. Some more options on the new grouping dialog. Structural task filter on the right side. Grouping summary tasks are no real tasks. They are only created for display when a grouping is selected. If you are using real summaries like summary tasks or the new WBS or category summary task, those structural tasks may disturb the understanding of the grouping. In this case, I just switch off the task type from being visible. Line settings on the left side. I can switch off the visibility of the group task in the bars area. Then only the empty line is left to display. If I do not want to see all tasks that have no allocations in the grouping criteria, I can switch them off. If I want to display the calendar day colors for the grouping tasks too, I can just set it here. One of the most helpful settings in this dialog is the option Display each task on separate line. If switched on, then each task will be displayed on a separate line and the text panel displays the data for this specified task. If switched off, then the system collects all tasks within one group on just one bar line. If they are not overlapping at all, just one line with all related tasks aligned is created. If the tasks are overlapping, the system enlarges the height of the line and display all related tasks. This presentation minimizes the space for displaying related tasks in a group without losing details. One addition to the groupings. It is possible to just add another grouping at the end of the list or changing the order of the different groupings. The grouping then is processed top-down. An example. First we group those 3 levels from the WBS, then we group for sector. The result, level 4 is now grouping the tasks according to their assignment to the sectors. These are the sectors, and these are all the tasks assigned to those sectors. Following, I show the presentation options of each grouping level. I start with the first line to edit. The basic group settings just display the grouping criteria and the number of levels again. In case of a hierarchy group element like WBS, there is the possibility to define how the name of the grouping is created. There are some possibilities like name, path, or description of the element. In group presentation settings, for each level the presentation like color, font size and separator lines can be defined. I select a color and font for display. This can be done for each level. I just added level 2 and level 3, giving a different color. The color settings for headlines and ribbon groups are quite similar to the color settings from the normal group presentation settings. But the colors are not set up manually but taken from a color code or taken from the color of a category or WBS. Just take color code. Okay, looks like this. Regarding the WBS color, in Tilos 9 each WBS or category level can have an own color assignment. Here you see the WBS library and there is a background color or other color assignment, and for each level you can select an own color. I have done this now for some elements. These colors can be used for presenting the group line in mode Get Color from category WBS. Go to level 3, Get Color from category WBS, go to that level, same setting, and click on OK. And then this is the colors now taken from the WBS color information. As you see in work breakdown structure, there is also the possibility to add a picture from the Tilos graphics library to each level. In a later step I will show how to display those pictures for the grouping level. But first I present the mode Display Groups as headline with ribbons. In general it is doing the same than the mode headlines, but additionally it adds some ribbon columns at the beginning of the text panel. If the levels are colored, the ribbons are building brackets around the group levels. The most innovative grouping mode is Ribbon Group Allows Pictures. It is based on the same grouping rules as the headline modes, but does not display horizontal headlines but vertical tiles, each tile's size corresponding to the number of associated group levels. I rotate the text before closing the dialog, then the text will be displayed horizontally. How to change the presentation of the tiles? First, the headline. Just edit the headline columns in grouping dialog. The second column I call type. The third I call station. And click on OK, and then the headline is changed. Second, what is the content of this tile? I can decide for display text for text only, display text and picture for having text and picture combined, display picture for picture only, and I can also hide this line, and I hide the first level, the project level. Where are the pictures taken from? This feature is only working with hierarchical WBS and category structures. If the WBS or category level has a picture assigned, the picture is displayed in the correspondent tile. How to set up the pictures? This feature is provided since Tilos version 7. Go to the graphics library and see the graphics. I have inserted some pictures displaying the different railway stations or some company logos. I assign them now to categories, not to WBS, to categories instead. I go to category location and select some pictures fitting to the different stations. And also for the track there is a picture showing overall the track. Then I open the category Company and also assign the company logos to the different pictures. The preparation is done now, and we can use those pictures on different places in the Gantt chart. To see that ribbon group setup again and more detailed, I create a new Gantt view. I change the display mode Grouped. The grouping dialog is displayed. I select Display Group as Ribbon Group, and the first grouping I am doing with category location 2 levels. So I add a new one, I select Category Group Location and add 2 levels. The second grouping I am doing with category Companies. As it is a flat category, one line for one level is enough. I want to collect the tasks on the last level, hence I set Do not display each task on a separate line. I do not want to see tasks with no category assignment, so I uncheck this option too. The location and company I want to display as picture. Finally, I set the column headers. The first ribbon column is showing the track. The second the station, and the last the company. Now have a look at the Gantt view. The ribbon columns are displaying pictures for track, stations and the company logo. The bars area is grouping the bars according to their belonging to the different category levels. This category belongings remember the beginning we have converted from Primavera activity codes. Just some more presentation options for the grouping. On the company level, I center the pictures. On the stations level, I center the pictures too, and I add blue lines to see the group's border. The result is a professional Gantt chart presentation grouped by user-defined categories and connecting location information to the Gantt chart. Some more new features are connected to the display of tasks in Gantt chart. We added some more options to task description. The goal was not only to have a text annotation, but also pictures and indicator signs in form of traffic lights. In Gantt chart settings, I first expand the height of the taskbar. Because I would like to add the pictures and traffic lights inside the taskbar. The text annotation can be found in tab Task Description. First, I add a text annotation in the bottom left edge of the bar of the task. Clicking the plus button adds a text annotation. The label name displays the task name. I select bottom left as position of the text. The text can have up to 100% of the width of the bar, and the text can have up to 30% of the height of the bar. The vertical and horizontal distance is 1 millimeter, so 0.1 centimeter. (10 millimeters) from the positioning. That's how it looks like. So I choose a smaller font, only 8 points. And then I add a picture. Clicking the picture button adds a picture annotation. The category group is company. From here the pictures are taken. I select top left as position of the picture. The picture can have 80% of the width of the bar, and the picture can have 50% from the height of the bar. Also the distances are 0.1 from the position point. And now the company logos are displayed at the top left edge in the defined sizes. Finally, I add indicator signs. Clicking the circle button adds an indicator sign. You can create more than one indicators, each indicator reporting a different data field. I add a sign. I have to define a name and the color code for the value to color connection and the data field where the value is stored in. So I just take color code. This is a red, green and yellow line, and the data field is integer 1. This is a data field from a task. I add another one. This time taking data field integer 2. Now some settings for all the defined indicator signs. The indicators shall appear vertical, one on top of the other. The indicator size is 3 millimeter and the distance is 1, again 0.1 centimeter from the edge. I want to put them on the top right side. See what is happening. Each task displays 2 indicator signs on the right border. Now for each task I can change the values of integer 1 and integer 2, and the indicator sign gets colored according to the color code definition. Here you see already some different colors, and if I select that task and go to details, I see integer 1 has here the value 1, integer 2 has the value 0. If I change integer 2 to value 2, then the indicator sign gets yellow, because this is the color for the value 2 that is defined in the color code. As the company logos now are displayed double, I change the grouping again, showing the category structure on level 3. Take the category group, name structure. Now it is on level 3. And now I have the structure here. Changing the column header. Okay. Now this Gantt chart is looking similar to a planning board having different information visible that allows to see the structure of the project, but also the detailed information. What else can be done with category or WBS structure? We have created 2 new task types, the WBS summary and the category summary. Both task types can be used to sum up all tasks on a specific level and below in just one task, the WBS or category summary. That can be used to display a schedule overview with low granularity. This is the detailed schedule in time location diagram. Now I create a new task and change it to a category summary task. I assign the categories from structure underpass and from location station Neustadt. These 3 tasks have the same category assignment. During reschedule, the coordinates of the category or summary task gets recalculated. Based on their hierarchy level, the summaries get the smallest and biggest coordinates of the content tasks. What does that mean for the specific summary? It will take location and time from those 3 tasks. I repeat this for another category summary. This time it is lift structure and location Fischbach. Details category summary. And it is station Fischbach and lift from structure. Click on OK, and after reschedule, the task is moving here because these are the 3 tasks fitting to that category assignment. The last sample is slightly different. I take only one category, location Eberbach. This here. Now, after reschedule, this is covering complete all tasks on station Eberbach. WBS summaries are working in the same way. These new summary tasks can be displayed in time location charts and in Gantt charts. For Tilos 9 we have also overworked the handling of data grids. Data grids are all spreadsheet-based dialog elements like the task list, or the text panel in Gantt charts. First enhancement, in Tilos 9 the cells in text panel can be directly edited if the Gantt chart displays each task on a separate line. You may set values like quantity, duration, start date and distance info, or here changing the name or setting a new start date. If a field is defined as read-only or if the field is calculated, it cannot be edited. This is indicated by a little triangle on the top right edge of the cell. In grids we have a new feature called Fill in Following. Select more than one cell performing an Alt-click. The context menu Fill in Following then copies the value of the first selected cell to all following selected cells. There are some new features regarding scheduling and task planning. There is an indicator called driving link. If a link is the driver for the successor, then it is displayed in the link dialog. While this left task is the driving link, the right link has a float and is not a driving link for the successor. This is also visible in tab Links and Constraints. By the way, text annotations can be displayed optionally in bubbles. Tilos 9 features pure distance links. They are not included in the time reschedule and do not cause loops, but they can have distance options. In this sample, the time links are colored in blue and the distance links are colored in green. The green distance links control the distance of the two purple tasks. So here you see this is a distance link and it controls the distance of the successor. Those tasks, those purple tasks, go before and after the blue tasks, which could be a machinery work that defines the working distance for all the tasks in the group. Changing the working distance can now control the previous and following task in distance 2. This is done during reschedule. And finally, time profiles can be displayed in time scales and time grids similar to distance profiles in distance scales and distance grids. With this new feature, you can highlight special time points or phases or build every timescale that is different from the standard 365 days per year, month or week calendar. Thank you for watching the introduction of the new features and good luck with Trimble Tilos version 9.